Good morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday. Okay, this is Travel Chat. This is the show where I use my super long commute to work to talk through my personal development. And here in the Midlife Vibe Tribe, we have a theme every single month. We started this group in November, and our theme was self-love and self-worth, and just kind of getting established with understanding like our value, right? And so our theme for December is believing in transformation. And Coach Brandy, she picked this theme, and I thought it was perfect because around this time in December is when I am personally changing my, I want to say avatar, right? Like changing my avatar, which is such a weird thing to think about, but I have a very real to me mentor, coach, friend, and that is my next best version of myself. So the me of 5 years from now is my mentor. She is my best, my best guiding system because she has all the answers, right? And I've been talking about this for months and months because I did this last year around this time and got really full force into it in January, and just it changed my entire year. Just the idea of having the next version of you, the version of you from 5 years from now, who can look back and say, don't worry about that, that was a small thing that worked out fine. Or who can say, hey, I know you want to get out of debt, this is how you do it. Go and check in on, go call this and ask this question, and go cancel that. I mean, that's how, when I started 2019, I had over $300,000 in debt. And now I'm ending 2019 with zero debt. Zero, no credit card debt, no loans, no student loans. We had 3 student loans when we started 2019. We had mine, my husband had one, then he had one from medical school, which was a personal loan. And now we have none. So, I mean, it's just an amazing feeling to see what can happen in the span of a year. And a lot of this that happened came from not being stressed out about the outcome. And how was I not stressed out about the outcome? And a lot of people, I tell people in like the Dave Ramsey groups, they're all stressed out about bills, and I'm like, you can become debt free without being stressed out. And they're like, how can you not be stressed out? And this is what I did, and it sounds kind of woo woo and kind of weird, and but it's not. This is really actually what I did. Morning, Diane. So the way that I kept myself from being stressed out is that I literally created and tapped into the next version of myself, the me of 5 years from now, the one who knows how the story ends, right? She knows what's going to happen, so clearly she has the answers. And that's one thing I want to really let you guys understand. Like, if we get through December and you really understand one thing, that thing should be that you have the answers inside of you. Everything that you want out of your entire life, everything is inside of you. All the answers to any question that you seek is inside of you. And so what I did was to bring that out. I created this, person that I could actually go to in my daydreams. And if I felt stressed, or if I felt nervous, I could actually just go to her and ask my questions. Or oftentimes what I just did was I would just, sit quietly or lay quietly in bed. It helped me go to sleep at night too. And just imagine that I'm just hanging out at the house. I'm hanging out at my house in the future. I'm looking around. I'm seeing, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What are the kids doing? What do kids look like? What are they talking about? We're sitting around the dinner table. What are we eating? Whenever I have stress and questions about food and meal planning, I try to take myself to my future life and just look around and see, okay, what are we eating in the future? And the funny thing is, this is all imagination. but your brain will construct these pictures for you. And when your brain constructs the pictures, it's just relaxing, right? It's not anything that you have to write down, because sometimes journaling is a pain. It's just, you're just imagining, using your imagination, tapping into that childlike fun of imagining and playing. And then I just see what's going on. Okay, what are they eating? What do they look like? We're fit and healthy. What are we eating to be fit and healthy? What kind of exercise is she doing? What's her daily routine like? What's her bedtime routine? What's her morning routine? And I would just go there in my imagination and enjoy that time. And it's so relaxing, right? That's how I would fall asleep. It's very easy to fall asleep doing that. And then in my waking life, when I'm not daydreaming, I am trying to be more like her. I'm just taking tiny steps to be more like her. I'm thinking more like her. What would Fran do in 2024? And I went as far as to just start calling her 24. What would 24 do? What would she say in this situation? How would she proceed? If I had some sort of option, or there was a fork in the road, I could take this path or that path, which path would she take? Now, this one's a little bit trickier, and we should probably talk about it more in depth as far as like which path to take, because that one is a little bit more involved, but also extremely cool, but a little more complicated than what I wanted to talk about on this show today. So I'm gonna have to make myself a note to remind you to talk to you about, to remind myself to talk to you about which path to take and how to decide which path to take, because as you know, we have a big move coming up, and my husband has narrowed his options. He's still interviewing, but so far of all the places he's seen, he's kind of ranked them, and he's got like a top 10 list. A top 10 list. There are all these places different around the country. And so I am like using this process to decide, or not even decide, but to just look at each of these different options to see which one would be the best for us. So I'll talk to you guys about that tomorrow. So I'll call it like, how do you choose your future, or something like that. Hey Mona, good morning. So we'll call it something like how to choose your future, or choose into your future, or something like that. It's all about choice. Good morning, Brandy. So but today I wanted to talk about to do this really, really cool exercise. It's a very special exercise, and I have several exercises similar to this, so I think I'm going to sprinkle them all throughout the next few weeks, because I realize that there's one exercise that doesn't appeal to me as much, but maybe someone else will get something out of it. So we'll even do the exercise that I don't like. We'll do them all. But this one is from Pat Flynn. And it's a future visualization. So all the stuff I was talking about creating the Fran of 2024 in my mind and really feeling into what her life is like, it goes into this. So I want you guys to do this too. You can call your future version Brandy of 2025. You can call the future version Mona 2025. You can call her whatever you want. I know, Brandy, you have an alter ego. What's your alter ego's name? I forget. Like how Beyonce has like Sasha Fierce. That's her alter ego. Whatever it is that that part of you, like, you create your alter ego or your avatar because you want that person to be strong. You know what I mean? Like, if you feel a little bit weak, you have this alter ego you can tap into and be like, okay, I'm strong, right? So it's kind of like you see Beyonce, and she's like this meek person. She's just so sweet. And then she gets on stage and she's like, it's like a force of nature. Like, I can't even believe that this little person, she's like 5'6". Like, I can't even believe she just did this. It's amazing. She looks like she's, 10 feet tall, like Wonder Woman. And it's just because she taps into this part of her that isn't normally expressed, right? And she taps into that. And so that's what I did with 24. I just kind of went, like, I made her real, and I just went there and just tapped into all the wisdom and all the creativity that she had, because in 5 years, I'm successful. Like, I'm where I want to be. So what does that look like? If I don't know what that looks like, how will I get there? Right? Make sense? And so that's what I want you guys to do, is to really, really, really make this real. You don't have to call her the you of 2025. And that's why I was starting to say, around this time in December, it's time for me to say goodbye to 24, which is sad to me. Like, it's sad. It's so weird. It's sad to me. I'm saying goodbye to 24, and I'm saying hello to 25. And now I'm thinking of naming her something else, like giving her a legit alter ego name, which would be fun, right? And so it's sad for me to say goodbye to 24, because she has done so much in my life. Like, seriously, 24, just having that comfort and going there and being able to ask questions, like, and I'm gonna do this probably on winter solstice, really write out all the things that 24 did for me in 2019 that I can't even thank her enough for. And the funny thing is, when it becomes 2024, I will be 24, right? Like, I'll be her. And I've been writing little letters to myself. Like, I got some shoes. I ordered some shoes online, and they had an optional gift message. And so they were like, you can put in a gift message, and when your box of shoes arrives, they have handwritten this message in. So I wrote the message, and I said, dear 19. I can't remember the whole thing. I have to post a picture of it. It was like, dear 19, thank you for everything that you're doing for me right now. It's gonna pay off big time in the future. I really love everything that you're doing. Here's a gift from me. Love, 24, something like that. And so I sent myself that message right from an online order. And so when I got the card, it was just like 24, like the me of the future was sending the me of now like a gift, right? And so I also have a planner, my 2020 planner, where I kind of said goodbye to 24 and say hello. I said, like, 2025, Fran of 2025, it's nice to meet you. It's like, here we go. We're turning over a chapter here. So it's just so amazing, like, what I have accomplished in this very super crazy, chaotic, busy year, just by using my imagination and saying, okay, what is possible? What could I do? And then going for it, just because I know that the me in 5 years is really going to appreciate the time and the energy and the effort I put into now, right? And we talked about that on Saturday in our goal planning session, that the only power we have is the power of right now. That's all we have. You can't change the past. You can't do much about the future, because things are going to happen outside of your control. But what you can do is start now, and the future starts to be created by what you do now. So that's the power of taking who you are in 2019 and who you are in 2020 and starting to change what 2025 looks like for yourself. Oh, Brandy. Okay, so Brandy is your authentic higher self. I thought you had an alter ego. I don't know where I'm getting that from now, but when I think of it, I'm gonna remind you who it is, because I think. Anyway, I know who it is. Okay, wait. Oh, I forget the name. You named the doll, the anchor doll. Ugh, I can't remember. I know you're gonna remember, because you have like a really good brain. Anyway, so everything you're doing in December 2019 is going to have an outcome later in the future. If you remember the movie Back to the Future, you remember that Marty McFly, like the what's his name's character, I forget the guy, Michael, what's his name, I can't remember, but anyway, his character went back to like when his parents were his age. Remember that? And like, he didn't really change a whole lot. Like, he just met his mom and like all these weird little kind of tweaks, and he didn't really make any huge significant changes. But then when he came back to the present day, remember how many things were different? Have you guys seen Back to the Future? I know I'm a little old. Hey, Krista. I'm 42 or 3 or something like that. But so I know probably younger people haven't seen Back to the Future. They need to make an updated one. But the movie was so profound in this way, because when he went back to like the 1950s or whenever it was, he only changed like 1 or 2 little things. He ran into a couple people, he met a couple people, he said some stuff, but then when he came back to his present day, it was so dramatically different. And that's what we need to really understand, is that the tiny tweaks that we make right now are going to have a dramatic difference on what we do later in the future. And that's why I'm catching my limiting beliefs and changing them and wrestling to the ground and like changing my beliefs, because I know that the sooner I stop thinking, yeah, Michael J. Fox, yes. The sooner I stop thinking like a small-minded person, the sooner I stop thinking that money is this scary thing, and the sooner I stop thinking that I can't do this and I can't do that and this is not possible for me and blah, 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 the sooner my life opens up to all of these wonderful possibilities. So that's the whole power of like thinking from the future. A little wacky, but yes, it is a good movie to rewatch as an adult. So especially now in December, like around this time when it's, you know, you're about to do your goals and all this stuff, just to kind of, it's an entertaining movie, but just to kind of nail in the idea that, you know what, it's about to be a new year. I have an opportunity to like seriously change my future just by turning over some changes, making some plans, and just going for it. Okay, so the Pat Flynn exercise. So Pat Flynn, if you don't know Pat Flynn, he's like an online, he's like a coach for coaches. I don't know. He runs a website called Simple Passive Income. He has a podcast. If you're into podcasts, it's a good one to listen to. I'm not a faithful listener to Pat Flynn. I like feminine voices. I just do. So I listen to a lot of ladies. But he's interviewed on the podcast I listen to, so I listen to it. And I know of him. His YouTube videos on how to make slides for your presentations are what I'm using to make the budget planners course, because it's so amazing. It just makes so much sense. It keeps your PowerPoint presentation from being horribly boring. So that's what I'm using. So Pat Flynn has this exercise, and I want to do it with you guys. I want you guys to think about it and do it as much as you can. A little here, a little there, you know, like I said, we fill in our daydreams like in these little times in our life when things are just, you know, you're sitting in a meeting and then has nothing to do with you or your patients or whatever, and you're just sitting there. Just start daydreaming. Just sit there with a soft smile and just start thinking about this kind of thing. So this is what Pat Flynn says. He says, imagine that you're in an airport, right? And you're headed somewhere. And your flight is delayed, so you're kind of sitting around and kind of waiting in the airport, and here I am. I'm in the airport, right? And so you recognize me, I recognize you, and I come up to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, you know, you're like, hey. Now imagine that it is the year 2025. It's 2025, you're flying out somewhere, I'm flying out somewhere, our paths happen to cross in this airport. We both have time, our flights are delayed, you've got Starbucks, I've got Starbucks, we're just gonna sit here and chit chat, and we've got about an hour to kill and just enjoy each other and just loving each other. I'm a hugger, in case you couldn't tell from the video. I kept laying on Brandy because I just love Brandy anyway, but so we're just kind of sitting here and just kind of chit chatting about our lives. Okay, it's 2025, it's 5 years from now. What are you telling me is going on in your life? You are saying, because I'm like, how's everything going? What's going on? You start out by saying, oh my gosh, my life is so amazing. I am living my dreams. I can't even believe how great things are going. And now it's your turn to fill in the blank. What does that look like for you? What does that look like? What are you telling me? When you start out by saying, my family is, what fills in the blank to make your family conversation the life of your dreams? What does that sound like? What's going on in your family that makes this your best life ever? When you say, my career has just become a dream come true. My career is amazing. I never thought it could be like this. I had no idea it could be this good. What are you saying to me? How are you describing your career? Now, I'm sitting here anxiously, right? Like, I have my coffee, and I'm just like, I love coffee. I always hug my coffee like this. And I have my coffee, and I'm listening to you, and I'm just so, my heart is bursting with excitement for you because you're so happy and excited. What does that sound like? What are you telling me? What are you telling me that's making you like so happy? Why are you glowing? And this is not fake airport talk, right? Okay, like y'all, we keep it real around here, right? In the Midlife Vibe Tribe, we keep it real. We're not in the airport lying to people and acting like everything is cool and things are not cool. Like, this is your real best life. This is your imagination. You can make it whatever you want. And so I ask you, because in 5 years, I will have arrived at the point where talking about money is not taboo. Like, we got to take the personal out of personal finance. People hide all their secrets and everything about money because nobody's talking about it. So you don't even know, like, we don't even know good strategies about money because people who have money are not telling us what to do with our money. We're going to change that. I'm telling you, like, the business that I'm starting in the middle of next year, we are completely changing that whole keep your great money ideas to yourself. It's going to be like, if you want to get wealthy in all areas of your life, including money, we're talking about it. Come hang out with Fran. We're talking about it. We're going to do this. So anyway, so I ask you, because I'm not afraid to talk about money, right? In 5 years, I'm like, girl, what is the money situation like? You look good. Look at you look like you're doing great. You look happy. You look healthy. You look wealthy. What's going on with your money situation? Right? And you start telling me about your investments. You start telling me about what you know about money. You start telling me about your 7 streams of income. You start telling me about your work-life balance. You start telling me about what you do to have money just flowing into your bank account without your stressing about it, right? So what are you telling me? As you do this exercise, as you create, this is you creating your life. You're just creating your life. As you create your life, what is it? Ask your brain. Your brain knows. Ask the version of you in 2025, because she's looking back. She knows what she did. Ask her, what did we do? What did we do to get to the point where I can be so excited talking about money? What did we do to get to the point where money is not a scary topic? Like, I can say, yes, we are doing great. We're doing great. I went back to school. I finished my degree. I got a phenomenal promotion. You know, I got so much extra pay. I took the extra pay. I invested it in index funds. They've been growing like crazy. I learned how to do that. Right? Like, that's the conversation we're having. We are giddy like little schoolgirls talking about how amazing our life is because we made these small changes. And then I ask you, I say, wow, you know, you look amazing. You look so fit. You look so healthy. Your skin is clear. You're glowing. Your hair is just so soft. And I'm asking you, what are you doing for your self-care? Like, what is your self-care routine like? Because whatever it is, I want some of that. Like, whatever you're doing, it is working for you. You look amazing. And you start telling me about your self-care routine. Oh, well, guess what? In 2020, I started doing this. And I started doing that. And I eat this. And I drink that. And I go here. And I make this a priority. And in my free time, I do this. So I'm giving you these prompts to ask you, what is it? What fills in that blank? What is it exactly that you're doing? When you're in this exercise, in your imagination, you're telling me the details. So make those details up right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing that makes 2025 the version of you, the next best, most awesome version of you, so awesome? What is the secret sauce? What is the magic? What are you doing? So that is your exercise for today. It's very fun. You can use it anytime you're just kind of sitting around and you're sitting in traffic and you're like, when I think about myself in 5 years and I'm so awesome, like I'm the best me I ever thought I could possibly be, what is it that brought me here? That's your exercise. All right. So, Brandy says Serafina. Nope, that wasn't it. It's not Serafina. Sorry, love. That's not it. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna think of it. I'm gonna text you. I'll let you guys go, and have a wonderful day, and we will talk later. Put in the comments if you want to sort of write out what that 5-year version of you is saying in the airport. Please feel free. I may write mine out. I don't know. We'll see. But I want you guys to be like engaged in this group and like feeling comfortable to share, because it really is a great place. Like, other people learn from what you share too. So feel free to share if you want to make a video, or if you just want to type it out. That's cool. All right. I will see you later. Bye.